Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Christine Pedawanich. We begin in Southeast Portland, where a small business is looking to recover its losses after a break-in on Mother's Day morning. A pair of burglars made off with a lockbox and all the cash inside of it. Here's Kyle Aboshi with video of the heist. And if you watch closely, maybe you can help solve the crime.
Caught on camera, a Mother's Day heist. Two people broke into Southeast Portland's Covert Cafe early Sunday morning. You can see the pair dressed in black head to toe. They used a crowbar to pry open the front door. Once inside, the crooks knew right where to go, as if they'd been there before.
They knew where the lockbox was, they knew where the cash box was, they knew where everything was, and just pried it off the floor.
Co-owner Joe Rogers says the suspects cleaned them out, ripping off a weekend's worth of earnings from the small neighborhood bar and restaurant.
I normally wouldn't keep that much money, but they knew that it's Sunday and that you can't go to the bank until Monday, so what's left here is going to be here.
The thieves were in and out in roughly 5 minutes, but the video provided some vivid clues, including a close-up look at one of the suspects. We've frozen the video for a better look.
This is a really big hit for us. Like, this really matters.
As word started to spread about the Mother's Day break-in, longtime friends and customers showed up at Covert Cafe with supplies and support.
Want to come out and support them a little bit if we can.
In April, KGW reported on a series of break-ins and broken windows in Southeast Portland's Montevilla neighborhood. A thrift store was hit, so was a pet supply shop multiple times. It's not clear if the cases are connected.
It's hard. We don't want to turn into the neighborhood that has bars in the front of our windows.
For small business owners, the loss isn't just money. It's a feeling of betrayal after criminals steal what they've worked so hard for, then simply walk away. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
Meantime, 3 other local businesses on Portland's Central East Side are hoping people can help them recover from a fire that broke out. 50 Licks Ice Cream Shop, Wild Stallions Vintage Shop, as well as Cream Salon, and 6 apartments above those businesses were all damaged in a fire on Friday morning. 50 Licks posted this on its Instagram account, saying they've got a GoFundMe up to help with the recovery. So does Cream Salon. 50 Licks also has 2 other locations on Southeast Clinton and Northwest 21st if you want to show some support. To some other local headlines we're following for you. Portland police say 3 people had to go to the hospital last night after a high-speed crash in Northeast Portland. It happened in the early morning hours, just after midnight. Police say they tried to stop a car that was speeding through a parking lot, but the driver took off and eventually crashed into a wall near the Northeast 122nd and Sandy Boulevard underpass. Investigators have not released many details at this point, but say the driver and 2 other people went to the hospital with injuries. Police cited the driver for reckless driving and reckless endangering. Also, the FBI is trying again to get information about a murder that happened 3 years ago in Northeast Portland. If that information leads to an arrest or conviction, the person who reported it could get $15,000. Investigators say 25-year-old Danae Williams was inside her car near Northeast MLK and Deacom when a silver sedan pulled up and someone fired shots. She died the next day. Her passenger was shot too, but survived. Investigators say the shooting may have been a part of a gang dispute, but the 2 were innocent victims. There's still no lead on who fired those shots, but if you know anything, contact the FBI. And this week, a Multnomah County grand jury is expected to hear testimony surrounding the murder of Joanna Speaks, one of at least 5 women who went missing and turned up dead across the Portland area last year. Her body was found in an abandoned barn in Ridgefield, Washington in April of 2023. No arrests have been made in the case, but last summer, multiple news outlets cited law enforcement sources who identified Jesse Calhoun as a person of interest. Calhoun told KGW that he was wrongfully accused. He's being held at Snake River Correctional Institution in Eastern Oregon on charges unrelated to the women's deaths. He's scheduled to be released June 7th. To the Oregon coast now, where the U.S. Coast Guard saved 2 people and a dog over the weekend. Take a look at this video. It happened east of Astoria, about 2.5 miles just off of a place called Tongue Point. The Coast Guard says a boat capsized on Saturday. 1 person was airlifted, as you see here, and a boat picked up the other person and the dog. Both people were taken to the hospital. Okay, let's get to meteorologist Rod Hill. Rod, we've been spoiled with beautiful weather.
Yeah, you know, it was kind of, well, it was hot, but really last Friday and Saturday, but certainly a cool down yesterday. It was 81 for Mother's Day out of Portland. We're all dry and very comfortable out there at this noon hour. The cloudiness has broken up along the coast. We had fog and mist, light precip along the beaches this morning, but look at Cannon Beach. Now basically mostly sunny. It tides out. Folks are out there enjoying a stroll and able to walk up to Haystack Rock. It's 59 degrees, so very nice. You get down into the central beaches of Lincoln County, it's the same situation. Blue skies after what was a wet morning to some degree. This is Schnickwin's Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City showing off the sunshine there. Here's the gorge. You can see Mount Adams right there from Cathedral Ridge Winery out in Hood River, where it's a nice, mostly sunny noon hour as well. Our Portland here in temperature 66 degrees, and it looks like we'll be up into the mid 70s. I have a 74 at 4. The warmest this batch of air likely supports a 76 this afternoon, 67 at 8 o'clock. We have a warm up and then a cool down, and then a look ahead does pick out a few days that could be downright rainy. That's ahead in my 7-day forecast.
Yeah, 74 for today, though. Looks good. Thanks, Rod. Well, work is underway to restore a piece of history in Portland's Albina neighborhood. A fire threatened to destroy the Webb Elks Lodge 3 years ago, but thanks to some community fundraising, things are starting to look up. KGW's Deidre Johnson spoke with some of the people working on its restoration.
Deborah Roche has been coming to the Billy Webb Elks Lodge for years. The building has been a significant part of the community and her life.
I've been here about 20 years now as a member. Came before I was a member, as my father was a member, and numerous other relatives and friends were members of the lodge as well.
The lodge is listed in the National Register of Historic Places. It's one of only a handful of African American places recognized in Oregon.
It's been here in the hands of the Elks since 1940s. Originally it was built in the 1920s as a YWCA when black people were not allowed to attend any other YWCAs. And so this was built especially for the African American community to utilize.
Now, after a devastating fire in 2021, the building is finally being restored. The lodge was remodeled back in 2009. But now, with the fire damage, it's like starting all over again.
The major damage from the fire was in the ballroom, and it destroyed several rafters or trusses in the ceiling, more than we anticipated. So now the work has had to be extensive and, of course, more expensive.
Other members of the lodge say it's been a work in progress.
It's been a long process to get funding and insurance and construction going, and now it's moving at a really solid pace.
One of the biggest challenges, the weather.
We live in Oregon, so it rains all the time. So in order for us to bring in new trusses, as you can see, there's a massive tower behind us that encapsulates the entire roof of the structure, and that only is to provide a temp weather protection to the building.
Many say not even the weather will stop the project the community hopes to see back open.
Everyone that's came up to us has always had just great things to say. They're ecstatic to see that we're working on the project, so it does make us feel good.
Deborah Roche says it's been a journey, but they can't wait to welcome back the community.
I am so excited. I mean, this has been like home for me, or second home for me, and I'm so excited to see that it's going to be rebuilt.